States elected a president for the first time in 1789. The Constitution set up the system for elections. The states chose representatives for a group called the Electoral College. It was the job of the members of the Electoral College to vote for the president. Everyone in the first Electoral College agreed that George Washington was the only one for the job. Washington, however, was not sure he would succeed. He wrote, "My countrymen will expect too much from me." Washington knew his actions would set an example for other presidents to follow. He acted with thought and care. In April 1789, Washington traveled to New York City where their government met. He was greeted as a hero. An excited crowd watched his inauguration in New York City. An inauguration is an official ceremony to make someone president. Washington promised to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Every president since Washington has made that exact same promise. Congress created 3 departments to help the president run the executive branch. Washington chose people he trusted to run those 3 departments. They were called secretaries. Thomas Jefferson became Washington's Secretary of State. Thomas Jefferson, as the Secretary of State, would decide how the United States acted toward other countries. Washington picked Alexander Hamilton to take care of the nation's finances as Secretary of Treasury. General Henry Knox, who had been in the Army with George Washington, became Secretary of War. Knox would be in charge of protecting the nation. Edmund Randolph became Attorney General. He would see that federal laws were obeyed. These men often met at Washington's house to advise him. Together, they became known as the President's Cabinet. The Cabinet is a group chosen by the President to help run the executive branch and to give advice. Every president since Washington has had a cabinet. 2 cabinet members, Alexander Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson, often disagreed. Alexander Hamilton wanted a strong national government that supported trade and manufacturing. Thomas Jefferson believed that the government should be limited so that it could not take away states' rights. He said the government should support farming instead of trade. Jefferson and Hamilton both had followers who formed political parties. A political party is a group of people who share similar ideas about government. People supporting Jefferson formed the Democratic-Republican Party. Hamilton's party was known as the Federalist Party. Hamilton and Jefferson often gave the president opposite advice. For example, Hamilton wanted to start a national bank. He believed it would make the nation wealthier and stronger. Jefferson was against the idea. He said that the government did not have the power to create the bank. Washington took Hamilton's side. He approved the law that created a national bank. Hamilton and Jefferson compromised on some problems. Hamilton supported Jefferson's wish to build a new national capital on the Potomac River between Virginia and Maryland. A capital is the city where the government meets. In return, Jefferson agreed to Hamilton's plan to pay the nation's war debts. President Washington chose the new nation's exact location. Astronomers measured the land, and a French engineer designed the city. Building began in 1792. The city was named Washington to honor the president. After 8 years as president, Washington announced his retirement in a farewell address or speech to the nation. In his address, he advised people not to form political parties. He felt parties divided people. Washington also wanted the nation to stay out of wars between other countries. Britain and France were at war at the time. Washington refused to take sides. For many years after that, the nation did not take sides in any foreign wars. George Washington is remembered as a great hero. One of Washington's friends said that he was first in war, first in peace, and first in the hearts of his countrymen.